ये लोकतंत्र का घंटनाद जिससे हम शुरुआत करते हैं अपने सेशंस की। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। कृपया मंच पर पधारें जोरदार तालियों के साथ। स्वागत अभिनंदन हमारे इस नए पैनल का भारतीय छात्र संसद के इस 9वें अधिवेशन में। आज इनॉग्रल के बाद हमारा ये पहला सेशन। हमारे साथ हमारे विशिष्ट मेहमान हाजी अनायत अली साहब, जो कि जम्मू कश्मीर के विधानसभा के अध्यक्ष, अमिताभ सिन्हा, जाने माने पत्रकार, प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर वीएल धारूरकर, वाइस चांसलर त्रिपुरा यूनिवर्सिटी, आप सभी का यहाँ हार्दिक स्वागत अभिनंदन। हमारा ये सेशन एक बहुत ही विचारोत्तेजक सेशन हम कह सकते हैं, जिसका टाइटल है फेक न्यूज एंड सोशल मीडिया, अ लीथल कॉम्बिनेशन। फेक न्यूज यानी नकली, झूठा, जाली, जालसाज, बेईमान, ठगना, उल्लू या बेवकूफ बनाना। डिक्शनरी में आप देखें तो फेक के ये तमाम रूप स्वरूप नजर आते हैं, और जब ये सारे एक साथ मिल जाते हैं और वो भी खबर में, तो बन जाता है फेक न्यूज। और जब इस फेक न्यूज को पंख मिल जाते हैं सोशल मीडिया के, तो वाकई ये बहुत ही घातक हो जाता है हमारे लिए। और बहुत सारे एग्जाम्पल्स आपने देखे हैं। अफवाहें फैलती हैं, दंगे भड़कते हैं, लोग एक दूसरे के दुश्मन हो जाते हैं इन सब की वजह से। और अगर हम जरा पीछे लौटें, पुराणों की तरफ देखें, तो आपको याद होगा कि द्रोणाचार्य का जो वध हुआ था, उसके पीछे भी ये फेक न्यूज थी, क्योंकि तब ये कहा गया था अश्वत्थामा मारा गया, अश्वत्थामा मारा गया, और उसके बाद वध होता है द्रोणाचार्य का। तो ये फेक न्यूज की एक कह सकते हैं लंबी कहानी है, और आज ये लंबी कहानी बहुत बड़ी हो गई है, इतनी बड़ी कि अब इससे डर लगने लगा है। आखिर कैसे पार पाएंगे हम? इन तमाम सवालों पर आज हम बात करेंगे इस सेशन में। आइए जरा पहले हम एक कर्टन रेजर वीडियो देख लें आज के हमारे इस विषय पर।
Session on fake news and social media, a lethal combination. Man is a social animal. This is something we have known since our primary school years. However, in last 2 decades, we have seen humans becoming virtually social to being antisocial. Antisocial is similar to accessing or misusing someone's information, creating ambiguity and incorrect perceptions in the minds of large population of society to knowingly instigate the breach of trust. In short, it goes beyond social media posts and can involve anything from criminal to politically motivated social media wars and thefts. In this respect, fake news is the most popular ploy being used by individuals and organizations with goals underlined by political, power, or profit-oriented interests. In today's session, let's look at the measures and countermeasures adopted by some of the noted brands, organizations, and political bodies.
तो आज के इस सेशन की हम शुरुआत करें, इससे पहले हमारे माननीय विशिष्ट अतिथि जो मंच पर विराजमान हैं, हम उनका स्वागत अभिनंदन करेंगे। मैं निवेदन करूंगी राहुल जी से कि वो स्वागत अभिनंदन करें। हमारे बीच जेएनके विधान परिषद के अध्यक्ष महोदय हाजी अनायत अली साहब यहाँ विराजमान हैं, हम उनका यहाँ भारतीय छात्र संसद के मंच पर हार्दिक स्वागत अभिनंदन करते हैं। आपकी जोरदार तालियों के साथ हम अभिनंदन करते हैं माननीय हाजी अनायत अली साहब का। और आज के हमारे दूसरे विशिष्ट अतिथि अमिताभ सिन्हा जी। अमिताभ सिन्हा जाने माने वरिष्ठ पत्रकार और रेजिडेंट एडिटर द इंडियन एक्सप्रेस पुणे हमारे बीच आज के इस विषय पर उनके विचारों को सुनने का हमें मौका मिलेगा। अमिताभ सिन्हा जी हमारे बीच, हम उनका हार्दिक स्वागत अभिनंदन करते हैं 9वें भारतीय छात्र संसद के इस मंच पर। आज उनको सुनने का मौका हम सबको मिलने वाला है। बहुत बहुत स्वागत। और हमारे साथ यहाँ मंच पर विराजमान प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर वीएल धारूरकर साहब, जो कि वाइस चांसलर हैं त्रिपुरा यूनिवर्सिटी के, जाने माने शिक्षाविद, आज हमारे बीच। आज के इस विषय पर उनके भी विचारों को हम सुन पाएंगे। 9वें भारतीय छात्र संसद के इस मंच से पहला हमारा सेशन, हमारे विशिष्ट अतिथि तो भारतीय छात्र संसद के इस मंच से अनेक विचारोत्तेजक विषयों को हम शामिल करते हैं। और आज एक ऐसा ही विषय जो कि हमारी जिंदगी में सबसे ज़्यादा इम्पॉर्टेंट, महत्वपूर्ण बन पड़ा है, जो कि फेक न्यूज़ का है और इसके साथ जो घातक लीथल कॉम्बिनेशन है सोशल मीडिया का। आज इस पर बात करने के लिए मैं ओपनिंग रिमार्क्स के लिए यहाँ बुलाना चाहूँगी प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर वीएल धारूरकर साहब को, जो कि वीसी हैं त्रिपुरा यूनिवर्सिटी के, जाने माने शिक्षाविद, लेखक और मैस कम्युनिकेशन और जर्नलिज्म एक सम्मानित नाम हमारे बीच। आपकी तालियों के बीच हम उन्हें आमंत्रित करते हैं, वो आए और ओपनिंग रिमार्क्स दें।
Honorable Rahul J. Karad, editor of Indian Express, chairman of J&K Assembly, dignitaries on the dais, and my beloved youth of India. I must congratulate Rahul Karad ji and Vishwanath Karad ji for organizing Indian Youth Parliament since last 8 years. This is the 9th year. Swami Vivekananda used to say, the future of India lies with the youth of India. भारत का भविष्य हमारे तेजस्वी, शक्तिमान, सूर्यमान युवकों के साथ है। समूचे दुनिया का नेतृत्व करने की ताकत भारत के युवकों में है। इस विश्वास को लेकर विश्वनाथ कराड़ जी ने यह संकल्प किया और 9 सालों से यह संकल्प बरकरार है। आज के युवा संसद में केवल हिंदुस्तान में नहीं, पूरे दुनिया में जिस विषय की चर्चा हो रही है, इस फेक न्यूज को एक मुख्य धारा का विषय बनाया गया। फ्रेंड्स, इन presidential election fought between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, there began a discussion on fake news. Whenever number of stories used to appear about the presidential campaign, President Trump used to criticize them as fake news. The story, the historical development of fake news, as rightly pointed by the earlier, goes to epic age, goes to the ancient period in the Greek and Roman cultures. In 4000 BC, there was also, in Greco-Roman wars, such kind of news were spread. In our epics also, what happened to Dronacharya. There is a famous cut line, Narova Kunjarova. So, fake news is a fictitious news. It is a sensationalized news, sensitizing news. It is a false news. And it creates violence, suspicion, and also tension in the society. So, fake news is very dangerous in the path of the democracy, in the path of the modern polities in the world. A country like United States of America, a country like United Kingdom, a country like India, which are the oldest democratic nations, are passing through transition, and fake news is a challenge to make democracies more sustainable. I quote, Lord Bryce wrote a book, The Modern Democracies, and in this book, Lord Bryce had defined democracy, that form of government which is ruled not by a group of individuals or the individuals, but by the community as a whole. If democracy is ruled of the people, by the people and for the people, then people should develop consensus, should develop a power of discrimination between good news and bad news, between the real news and the fake news. As a professor of journalism, let us start with the beginning. What is the news? News is that information which comes from all four directions: north, east, south, east and south, east, west and south, NEWS. Again, about the news, there are two dimensions. Editor साहब, वेस्ट कहती है बैड न्यूज इज द गुड न्यूज. इंडिया कहती है, ऋग्वेद में लिखा है, न मूलम लिख्यन्ति यद्यपि, डोंट राइट विदाउट हैविंग एनी एविडेंस. ऋग्वेद में लिखा है, वार्ता अनुकौतुकावती. न्यूज शुड बी पॉजिटिव, न्यूज शुड बी एप्रिशिएबल. Then our tradition speaks, समाज स्वास्थ्येन संवाद. Communication is meant for the betterment of the society, meant for the health of the society, better health of the society and democracy. So, there are two dimensions, a Western dimension and Indian dimension. But both of them are common, that news should be based on truth, accuracy, fairness. I quote a book. Professor Spencer Crump has written a book, The Fundamentals of Journalism. In this book, he has pointed that the basic principles of news are very important. The first is freedom. You have to enjoy freedom and respect freedom. आपने संचार माध्यमों की आजादी के लिए पहले आदर करना चाहिए और दूसरे को भी आजादी देनी चाहिए, स्वयं भी आजादी देनी चाहिए. It's a two-way phenomenon. Second is responsibility, दायित्व, जिम्मेदारी. थोड़ा फ्रीडम के बारे में कहूं, गांधी जी के गुरुजी गोपाल कृष्ण गोखले कहते थे, फ्रीडम ऑफ एक्सप्रेशन इज एसेंस ऑफ स्वराज. इफ यू हैम्पर फ्रीडम ऑफ एक्सप्रेशन, एवरी एग्जिस्टेंस ऑफ स्वराज विल कम डाउन. अब हम चलते हैं रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी के ऊपर. When you publish a news, when you write a news, when you spread a news, the whole full responsibility lies with the reporter and the editor. Because he is writing the news, presenting the information for the masses with fullest evidence and fullest confidence. So, editorial responsibility is the social responsibility, is the complete responsibility. Number one is of freedom. These are the canons of journalism. These are the ethics of journalism. Number two is responsibility. Number three is truthfulness. Walter Lippmann was once asked, he said, journalists should try to pick up the truth till the deadline. Deadline is the most sacred rule in the newspapers. सत्य के बारे में हमारे वैदिक साहित्य में लिखा है, सत्यम वद धर्मचर. Follow truth and follow the ethics of the profession. Question arises, does journalism as a profession follow ethical regulations or not? After truthfulness, there is a principle of impartiality. Should not go in the line of a party, religion, creed, language. Give a fact sheet based on impartial ideas. पक्ष निरपेक्ष दृष्टि से, किसी जाति के पक्ष में, किसी धर्म के पक्ष में, किसी समुदाय के पक्ष में, किसी पंथ के पक्ष में मत लिखिए, दूसरे को कॉर्नर मत कीजिए. ऐसे होता है कि जब समाचार लिखे जाते हैं तो उसके सामने केवल सच्चाई आजकल नहीं रही है, उनके सामने अपने मार्केटिंग की कल्पना है. झूठे समाचार बनाकर चैनल को चलाना है. दूसरी बात यह है, उसे सेंसिटाइज करना है. मार्केटिंग करना है, पैसा निकालना है. So, impartiality is not truly followed in the today's world. Next is objectivity. When you write a news, write in an objective manner. जैसे होता है वैसा लिखिए, उसको तोड़ मरोड़ कर मत लिखिए. Friends, the last but the least principle of basic news is fair play. When you write a news and when you feel that the news is wrong, then you have to beg an apology in the same space. United Nations Educational, Social, Cultural Organization, UNESCO has published a book, Code of Ethics of Press, in 1981. 165 countries' Code of Ethics have been published in this book. In India, for the first time, Code of Ethics was launched in 1977, after 30 years of Indian democracy, when there was a Janata wave in the country, government was toppled, India received second freedom, then this Code of Ethics came. There are two things. Ethical regulations are more important than other regulations. So fake news can be countered, can be challenged by developing a scientific method and modus operandi. Once Guardian, a daily newspaper, asked the Indian professor Prabhakar Singh, he pointed in Guardian, unfortunately, India does not have a mechanism to counter the fake news. Now, on internet and social media, also a number of items appear as a fake. There are videos are played, some rumors are spread. These are all to be countered. समाचार होता है, वार्ता होती है, वदंता होती है, मराठी में हम उसको वावड़ी कहते हैं. These are all the not news. They are not the truthful news. So try to understand the ethos of the news making and follow the principles of morality to counter the fake news, because that is a challenge to the democracy. In today's times of India, a very fine quotation has come written by Adam Smith, a great economist. Adam Smith writes, the basic prerequisite of a populous government to the highest degree, three things are very important. Number one, how the peace is established in the community, how the good governance is supported, how, interestingly, social harmony is developed, and administration with justice has been provided with peace and security to the people. If that is the canon of state, betterment of the state, our Kautilya says, Artha Mulo Dhana Kamaha. Money is the essence of all things. Happy is the king whose subject is happy. So make the people of India more happy. Let us make the good governance on the basis of righteous information. About media autonomy, it is said, freedom is given. Autonomy is not only freedom, autonomy is empowerment. Empower करो मीडिया को, सशक्त करो, बलशाली करो, और इथिकल वैल्यूज को फॉलो करो, ताकि हमारा जर्नलिज्म सीक्रेट बने, हमारे डेमोक्रेसी को कंट्रोल कर सके. कहते हैं, प्रेस इज द फोर्थ स्टेट इन डेमोक्रेसी and broadcast media is the fifth state in democracy. If these two work in hand together, then only polity can be purified with this few words. Thank you very much.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद प्रोफेसर धारुड़कर. और एक विनम्र निवेदन हमारे सम्मानित विशिष्ट अतिथियों से, कृपया समय सीमा का थोड़ा सा ध्यान रखें. आखिर अनुशासन भी हमें सब छात्र नेताओं को सिखाना है, क्योंकि अनुशासन के बिना ये जीवन की हम कल्पना नहीं कर सकते. और अब मैं यहाँ पर जिन्हें सम्मानित अतिथि को यहाँ मंच पर बुलाना चाहूँगी, लेकिन उससे पहले मैं आपको बताना चाहूँगी कि वो एक जाने माने राजनेता हैं और आजकल जम्मू कश्मीर लेजिस्लेशन काउंसिल के चेयरमैन हैं. श्री हाजी अनायत अली साहब हमारे बीच यहाँ पधारे हैं. और इससे पहले कि हम उन्हें आमंत्रित करें, आइए ज़रा उनके जीवन और कार्यों पर एक नज़र डाल लें इस वीडियो क्लिप के माध्यम से.
Haji Anayat Ali is a politician, social worker and hotelier belonging to the Kargil district in the Ladakh region of the state of Jammu and Kashmir. He is the member of People's Democratic Party since 2014. He is the current chairman of the Jammu and Kashmir Legislative Council. He was nominated as the chairman of the Upper House on 12th of April 2015. Joining his father in their family business at a tender age, he has emerged as an early riser and a workaholic. His support in the capacity of Youth Wing President of Islamia School Kargil proved beneficial for National Conference in securing victory over the 2 MLA seats of the district. He has been taking a number of measures to strengthen Kargil in terms of infrastructural development, adding for the first time in the history of the district, projects worth ₹100 crore have been sanctioned under Central Roads Fund. He solely believes in the competence of the youths, thus constantly works for providing them countless opportunities to work. We are honored to welcome Haji Anayat Ali.
तो जोरदार तालियों के साथ हमारे आज के सेशन के अध्यक्ष महोदय और जम्मू कश्मीर लेजिस्लेटिव काउंसिल के चेयरमैन माननीय श्री हाजी अनायत अली जी अब हमें संबोधित करेंगे। जोरदार तालियों के साथ उनका स्वागत, अभिनंदन एक बार फिर से।
थैंक यू। ओके। मोअज़्ज़ज़ सामीन इकराम, ख़वातीन व हज़रात और यहाँ डाइस पर मौजूद ज़ी-वक़ार साथियों, आदाब। सबसे पहले मैं आप सबका निहायत ममनून और मशकूर हूँ कि आप लोगों ने मुझे एक ऐसे मौजू पर बहस में शमूलियत का मौका दिया जो मौजूदा दौर में मौजूदियत के हिसाब से तमाम अहले दानिश और कौम व मिल्लत के दर्द रखने वालों के लिए कलीदी अहमियत का हामिल है। मौजूदा वक़्त में जबकि सोशल मीडिया या ज़िंदगी के हर मामले में असरअंदाज हो चुका है, तो ये एक लाज़मी अमर है कि इसके मुस्बत पहलुओं के साथ इसके कुछ मनफी असरात भी होंगे। मगर ये लम्हा फ़िक्रिया ये है कि इसके मनफी असरात हमारे समाज में, जो कि एक मजहब समाज माना जाता है, पर ऐसे अंदाज से मरतब हो रहे हैं कि अरसा दराज से इस जमहूरी समाज की बुनियादों को तक़वियत बख्शने वाले साफ़ी इदारे, जिनको जमहूरियत की बुनियाद करार दिया जाता है, वो भी सोशल मीडिया की मनफी असरात से अछूते नहीं रह सकते। आज के दौर में सोशल मीडिया गलत खबरों की तशहीर का एक बड़ा ज़रिया बन गया है और सोशल मीडिया और गलत खबरों की तशहीर का ये आपसी मिलाप समाज के लिए एक दर्दसर बन गया है। आज के इस टेक्निकी दौर में जब रसल और रसाइल के ज़रिए हर एक को बआसानी दस्तयाब है, सहाफ़ती इदारों और अहले दानिश का काम कि वो निहायत मोहतात अंदाज से काम करें और कोशिश करें कि किसी ऐसी खबर को तशहीर न होने पाए जो नुफूस अमन का बास बने। मगर शुमाई किस्मत कि हमारी सियासी बरादरी और सहाफ़ी लोग हकीर सियासी और माली फ़वाइद के लिए अक्सर व बेशतर ऐसी बयानबाजी करते हैं और उनकी तशहीर का बायस बनते हैं जो अमन अमा में खलल का बास बन जाते हैं। हमारे सियासी और सहाफ़ती इक़्तिदार का तकाज़ा है कि हम हर लम्हे और हर वक्त ये कोशिश करें कि हम सोशल मीडिया के इस टेक्निकी निज़ाम को इंसानी ज़िंदगी में बेहतरी लाने के लिए इस्तेमाल करें और कोशिश करें कि हमारे लिए नफ़ा बख्श साबित हो, न कि गलत इत्तलात से की तशहीर का जरिया बनकर समाज में बदनिज़ामी का माहौल बने। आज की ये महफिल मुज़ाकरा भी इसलिए मुनक़िद की गई है कि हम इस बात पर गौर व फिक्र करें कि जिस जमहूरी समाज को कायम करने के लिए और इसको तक़वियत बख्शने के लिए हमारे बुजुर्गों ने कुर्बानियाँ दी हैं, कहीं वो मौजूदा दौर में सोशल मीडिया के बेलगाम सैलाब और गलत इत्तलात की तशहीर की नज़र न चढ़ जाए। हम इस बात से इनकार नहीं कर सकते कि यह मसला हर मजहब समाज को दरपेश आया है, मगर मौजूदा दौर में टेक्निकी इनकलाब और सोशल मीडिया की मौजूदगी की वजह से गलत इलात की तरसील और निहायत तशरीह निहायत तेजी से आ गई है, यानी इतनी तेजी से बढ़ चुके हैं जो अक्सर औक़ात समाज दुश्मन अनासिर को ऐसा चारा मुहैया कर देती है, ऐसे मौके फराहम कर देती है जो कि उनको अमन अमा में खलल अंदाज होने में मददगार साबित हो सकता है। बकौल डॉक्टर बशीर बदर फरमाते हैं, लोग टूट जाते हैं एक घर बनाने में, लोग टूट जाते हैं एक घर बनाने में, तुमको तरस नहीं खाते बस्तियां जलाने में। हम गौर व फिक्र करना है, ये हमारा आजकल के माशरे में हमको सोचना है कि हमारी एक गलत इत्तलात कहीं एक चिंगारी बनकर इंसानी जान और माल के जिया का बाज़ न बने। एक छोटे सी बात जो है, हमारे मैं एक मिसाल देता हूं आपको। हमारे मैं एक लद्दाख की बात करता हूं कि हमारे कुछ स्टूडेंट्स जो है वो हमारे जम्मू में पढ़ रहे थे। ये गलत सोशल मीडिया पे बात करने से क्या नफ़ा क्या नुकसान होता है, मैं एक छोटी सी एक मिसाल देता हूं आप लोगों को कि हमारे जम्मू में, मैं करगिल से बिलोंग करता हूं, हम लद्दाख से बिलोंग करते हैं। करगिल और जम्मू का जो फासला है वो तकरीबन 500 किलोमीटर है। हमारे कुछ लड़के वहाँ पढ़ रहे थे, वो दिन के टाइम पर किसी तालाब में नहाने के लिए गए। उसके माँ बाप जो है करगिल में अपने घर में थे, वो बच्चे जो है जम्मू में पढ़ रहे थे। अचानक वहाँ किसी एक्सीडेंट की वजह से वो बच्चे दोनों वहाँ पर पानी में डूबकर मर गए। लेकिन उनके जो माँ बाप जो है उनको पता नहीं था कि लड़का को वहाँ पर क्या हुआ है, कैसे वहाँ बैठे हैं। इतने में हमारे सोशल मीडिया के थ्रू हमारे जो दूसरे बच्चों ने फोटोग्राफ निकाल के उसका एक खबर बना के उसको व्हाट्सएप पे डाल के सोशल मीडिया में डाल के लोगों को पहुंचा दिया। जब घर में बाप बैठे थे शाम को, जब उसने टेलीफोन ऑन किया तो उसको सोशल मीडिया पे वहाँ पर नज़र आते हैं अपने बच्चे का वहाँ लाश सामने, और वो खबर उनके सामने पहुँच जाता है। तो आप सोचिए उस पेरेंट्स के ऊपर क्या उनकी क्या हैसियत होगी होगा उस वक्त। वो कहाँ पर किस तरह से सोच सकते हैं वहाँ पर। वो रात भर करवटें बदलते रहे वहाँ पर। लेकिन ये जो सोशल मीडिया में जो खबर फैलाते हैं वो हम पढ़े लिखे लोग फैलाते हैं। कोई अनपढ़, कोई जाहिल, जिसको लिखना नहीं आता है, जिसको पढ़ना नहीं आता है, वो बेचारा क्या लिखेगा वहाँ पर, क्या खबर देंगे उनको। लिहाजा जो भी करते हैं पढ़े लिखे लोग, जवान लोग, जो हम अच्छे पढ़े लिखे लोग वही खबर फैलाते हैं। तो लिहाजा हमें इस चीज़ पर गौर व फिक्र करना चाहिए कि ये हमारे इंसानी जान और माल के ज़िया का बायस न बन जाए और मौजूदा जमहूरी और मजहबी समाज में बहैसियत एक मुल्क कौम के बाकी दुनिया के सामने ज़िल्लत का सामना न कर पाए। दुनिया के सामने हमें जलील होना ना पड़े। हमें बहैसियत एक सियासतदान और एक सहाफ़ी और एक आम शहरी के तौर पर अपनी अपनी जिम्मेदारियों का एहसास रखना होगा। एक सियासतदान को मोहतात तरीके से अपनी ज़बान का इस्तेमाल करना होगा। एक सहाफ़ी को एक मोहतात तरीके से अपने कलम का इस्तेमाल करना होगा और बहैसियत एक आम शहरी कि हम सब लोगों को निहायत ही बुर्दबारी का मुजाहरा करते हुए एक बात पर गौर व फिक्र करना चाहिए। हर बात की तस्दीक करके उसकी मजीद तशहीर करनी चाहिए या इस पर कोई कार्रवाई अमल में लानी चाहिए। यहाँ पर मौजूद मुल्क के मुख्तलिफ कोनों से आए हुए सियासी कारकुन, मुख्तलिफ तालीमी इदारों के तालिब इल्मों की जिम्मेदारी बनती है कि वो एक ऐसे मज़बूत माहौल तैयार करें जहाँ पर गलत इत्तलात की तशहीर और इन पर कान दोहराने की कोई गुंजाइश ना हो। हम एक ऐसे माशरे तैयार करें जहाँ पर अमन व अतशी का माहौल हो, जिसमें रहकर मुल्क व कौम अपनी तमाम सलाहियतों को परोए कर लाकर तरक्की की नई मंजिल तय करें। आज यहाँ से ये ओहद करें कि हम हमारे समाज में ऐसे किसी इदारे, फर्द या निज़ाम के लिए कोई जगह नहीं होगी जो हमारे मुल्क व कौम के लिए ख़तरे का बाहस बने, जो हमारे मुल्क में आबाद मुख्तलिफ मज़ाहिब और कौमों के दरमियान नफ़रत व इख्तिलाफ़ात का बाहस न बने। ऐसे किसी सियासतदान, साफ़ी या फ़र्द बशर के लिए कोई अदब व लिहाज नहीं होगा जो गलत बयान कहे, जो गलत बात कहे या उसकी तशरीह व इशाअत का बास बने। मैं उम्मीद करता हूँ कि आज का ये मुबाहिसा अपने तमाम अहदाफ हासिल करके मुल्क व कौम के लिए मुनाफा बख्श साबित होगा और हमें आइंदा ऐसे मनाजिर मुनाकिद करने की ज़रूरत पेश नहीं आए और हमें अपनी तमाम सलाहियतों को तामीरी कामों पर सर्फ करेंगे और मुल्क व कौम का नाम रोशन करेंगे। शुक्रिया, थैंक यू, आदाब।
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया अनायत अली साहब, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आपके इन विचारों के लिए, आपके संबोधन के लिए। देखा जाए तो आज जिस आज़ाद हवा में हम सांस लेते हैं, हमें एहसास नहीं होता उस बात का, हमें एहसास नहीं होता कि कितने संघर्षों के बाद, कितने त्याग करने के बाद, कितने हौसलों के बाद, उन हौसलों के साथ जब आंधियां चल रही थी, हमने अपनी आज़ादी को हासिल किया। आज ये आज़ादी हमें आसान लगती है, लेकिन ये आसान है नहीं। उनसे पूछिए जो सरहदों पर बैठते हैं, जो सरहदों की रक्षा करते हैं, -डिग्री टेम्परेचर में, मरुथलों में, सूरज के नीचे या फिर सागर की गहराइयों में। उनसे हमें जानना, सीखना और समझना चाहिए कि आखिर आज़ादी के मतलब क्या हैं, आज़ादी के मायने क्या हैं। आइए ज़रा उनके बलिदान, उनकी कुर्बानियों और उनके त्याग को आज हम सैल्यूट कर लें। देखें ये छोटा सा वीडियो।
वतन वालों, वतन ना बेच देना, ये धरती ये गगन ना बेच देना। शहीदों ने
सैल्यूट करते हैं, सलाम करते हैं, स्टैंडिंग ओवेशन हमारे सैनिकों के लिए, उन जाबाजों के लिए जो हमारे देश की रक्षा करते हैं, अपने प्राणों की आहुति देते हैं, अपना बलिदान देते हैं, कुर्बान हो जाते हैं इस देश के लिए। ये है हमारी आज़ादी की कीमत जो वो चुकाते हैं। आखिर हम अपनी आज़ादी के लिए क्या कर रहे हैं, आया बड़ा सवाल है, और इस बड़े सवाल के जवाब आज हम यहाँ ढूंढ रहे हैं। सोशल मीडिया की बात कर रहे हैं, फेक न्यूज़ की बात कर रहे हैं। कृपया अपने अपने स्थान लें, और किस प्रकार से हम इस दंश से बचा सकते हैं अपने देश को, अपनी आज़ादी को, आज इस पर हम चर्चा कर रहे हैं। और अब बारी है हमारे स्टूडेंट लीडर्स की।
Right, so in this session, it's now time for our student leaders to put their views in this session. First, I would like to invite Navjot Kaur from Punjab. Please welcome her with a big round of applause, my friends.
जोरदार तालियों के साथ इस स्टूडेंट लीडर का यहाँ अभिनंदन।
Wow. Well, I feel the power of the youth already. Ladies and gentlemen, a few days ago, while I was scrolling through my social media site, I came across this attractive, bold link. And it said, know the truth about the new 2000 rupee note, and for latest news and gossip, click here. Well, honestly, I was tempted. Ladies and gentlemen, social media, a fantastic tool. It helps you express yourself. It provides you with a platform. But more importantly, social media sites provide you with an audience. This modern day boon, as we all see social media sites as, have given us immense power. But what we all forget is, with great power comes great responsibility. And slamming the propagation of fake news on social media is one such responsibility. According to a research by the Stanford University, it was stated that youth across the globe cannot differentiate between a reported news, a corporate ad, and an opinion piece. My friends, this very lack of media literacy leads us, youth, to get duped by fake news on social media. Well, this again brings me back to the 2000 rupee note episode when our Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi, announced the introduction of the new bill. The screens across India lit up with the news that the bill would come installed with a surveillance chip connected to some satellite which will be traceable even 120 meters underground. As funny as it sounds, the truth is that this displays the deeper impact of fake news in a country where journalists are top-notch, media is prolific, and the citizens are competent. Ladies and gentlemen, we are a generation who sees but is blind, so the need of the hour is to open your eyes and scrutinize and ask yourself these 6 questions. Who wrote this? What claims does it make? When was it published? Where was it published? How does it make you feel? And lastly, who benefits? The moment you have the answers and are satisfied with all these questions, you, my friend, will know the truth. In the end, I would just say the next time you come across a link stating that for latest gossip and news, click here, I suggest you run as far away as you can, but virtually, of course. So my friends, wake up, buck up, realize and scrutinize. Thank you and have a nice day.
Thank you very much, Navjot. Thank you very much for your views, and I now request Dr. Saili Gankar, Dean Academics, MIT World Peace University, to kindly felicitate and congratulate Navjot Kaur for her views. A big round of applause for Navjot. And now this is time when I invite Shailesh Kumar Pandey from Chhattisgarh to put his view.
सोशल मीडिया जो माध्यम संचार था, आज झूठी खबरों का बाजार हो गया है। हर व्यक्ति आज सोशल मीडिया में इन झूठी खबरों का शिकार हो गया है। लोग गलत कहते थे कि सोशल मीडिया ने लोगों को जोड़ा है, आज तो हमारी भावनाओं का भी सोशल मीडिया में व्यापार हो गया है। इस इंटरनेट के युग में जब सोशल मीडिया ने हमारे जीवन में कदम रखा, तो हमने इस एक कृत्रिम जगत में संचार और व्यवहार को समाहित किया। लेकिन जब महाराष्ट्र में बच्चा चोर की एक फेक न्यूज पर 5 लोगों की हत्या कर दी गई और जब झारखंड में 7 लोगों की हत्या कर दी गई, तो मैं ये सोचने पे विवश हो गया कि इस संचार के वरदान को हमने किस तरह से अभिशाप में बदल दिया है। मेरे दोस्तों, सोशल मीडिया को रोकने के 2 समाधान हैं। पहला, स्रोत पर वार करो। क्यों ना हम एक ऐसा पोर्टल विकसित करें जिसमें तमाम सोशल मीडिया की चल रही फेक न्यूज की लिंक को हम डालकर उसे पड़ताल के दायरे में ला सकें और उस पर कार्यवाही सुनिश्चित कर उसे हमेशा के लिए बंद करा सकें। कुछ वेबसाइट्स चलती हैं जिसमें आप फर्जी इमेजेस को चेक कर सकते हैं। www.images.google.com, www.control8.org, ऐसी अनेकों वेबसाइट्स हैं। मेरे साथियों, आप इस देश के युवा हैं। 20 करोड़ फेसबुक के उपभोक्ताओं में सर्वाधिक संख्या आपकी है। इसलिए ये मेरी, आपकी, हम सबकी जिम्मेदारी है कि किस तरह से हम इस फेक न्यूज से निपटने के लिए अपनी जागरूकता और अपनी प्रतिभागिता को स्पष्ट करते हैं। दोस्तों, ये जो फेक न्यूज का चलन लगातार बढ़ रहा है, इसका सबसे बड़ा कारण है आध्यात्म अध्ययन की कमी, धैर्य की कमी, ज्ञान की कमी और अन्याय अज्ञानता के खिलाफ लड़ने की इच्छा शक्ति की कमी। अगर आप अपने अंदर इन गुणों को समाहित करें, इसका अध्ययन करें, तो निश्चित तौर पर आप लोकतंत्र के चौथे स्तंभ मीडिया को बचा लेंगे, लोकतंत्र को बचा लेंगे, हमारी सामाजिक संरचना को बचा लेंगे और अपने युवा होने का परिचय दे सकेंगे। अंततः मैं बस यही कहना चाहूंगा कि आप इस देश के युवा हैं। आपको कभी भी अगर कोई फर्जी खबर फैलाता मिले, उसे रोकें, उसे समझाएं, उसे जागरूक करें और उसे ये बताएं कि वो देश के लिए कितना घातक कार्य कर रहा है। ये राष्ट्र निर्माण के लिए जरूरी है, ये हमारी देशभक्ति के लिए जरूरी है, इस भारत में रहने और इस भारत को भारत बनाए रखने के लिए जरूरी है। अंततः मैं बस यही कहना चाहूंगा कि फेक न्यूज के खिलाफ अभियान आओ मिलकर चलाते हैं, राष्ट्र निर्माण की राहों पर मिलकर कदम बढ़ाते हैं। देश के लिए दिलों में यही प्रेम समर्पण हो, राष्ट्र निर्माण के महायज्ञ में सब कुछ अपना अर्पण हो, सब कुछ अपना अर्पण हो, सब कुछ अपना अर्पण हो। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
क्या बात है। Big round of applause for Mr. Shailesh Kumar Pandey. And now request Professor Mridula Kulkarni to kindly felicitate Mr. Shailesh Kumar Pandey and congratulate him for putting in front of us all his views. A big round of applause, my friends, for Shailesh. With this, I now request P. Keshavan from Telangana to put his views in this very important session in front of all of us.
Namaste and good afternoon to all the dignitaries on and off the dais. Year 1835, a series of 6 articles were published in the New York newspaper, The Sun, regarding fantastic animals or aliens like bisons, unicorns, etc. that had inhabited the moon. Year 2018, killer in town, win $1 million within an hour, or a 7-headed cobra. Despite these statements coming from different era and timeline, there's a common thread that connects all of them together. That is, at the end of the day, all of them turned out to be fake. Not many of us knew about the Great Moon hoax, but most of us did know about the other issues that I spoke about, and even at some point considered believing in them. Why is that? Social media. Indeed, a lethal combination. These social networking platforms like Facebook, Twitter, etc. enable widespread circulation of this fake content, like how a virus takes over our body. And then we need to rush for immediate medical intervention and learn of truth via prescription of scrutiny and discretion. Yes, you've heard me right. We have all made this mistake. We have all, at least once, been fooled or misled by the news of, and it's high time that we do something about it. According to me, the process of understanding and curbing fake news is a threefold process. Stage 1, birth and circulation stage. The pivotal aspect of birth and circulation stage being the intention of the creator and his incentive for doing so. Now, this ideally falls into 2 different categories. The first one is more closely related to a country like India, in which a video is faked or a photo is edited just to make it interesting or funny. The second category, in which the creator has some serious intentions, like some political propaganda or an unjust dogma to spread. In both these cases, if the so-called bad guy in this picture, social media, they take it as a responsibility to authenticate, to validate all these sources before even putting it in the viral section, they can easily turn into a hero. The second thing, or the second stage, what I call it myself as defining it for yourself section. I believe that you should not let a third party define fake news for you. For example, in the 2016 US presidential election, Donald Trump defined that any news against him is fake news. Now the same thing, Narendra Modi or Rahul Gandhi or Arvind Kejriwal can come and do it in the 2019 general election. Nor can you let media or a journalism community or nationalism or statements like, if you're an Indian, please spread this thing. But what should actually affect your decision is your validation, your concept, your understanding about the issue. Because the news that you consume should be defined by you. The third section being the action stage, in which you start a new chain of authenticate news. Ladies and gentlemen, the founding principles of a civilization thrives in the ability and capability of a person to distinguish fact from fiction. What would happen to our community? What would happen to our businesses? What would happen to our governance if we can't trust what we see, read, or hear? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, P. Keshwan. Thank you very much for your views. I now request Dr. Sunil Pimprikar to kindly felicitate and welcome P. Keshwan. Give him a big round of applause, my friends. Very important point that he has put up in front of us, that don't let others define what is real, what is true, and what is fake. Thank you very much. And now please put your hands together and welcome Imadul Hassan from Maharashtra to put his views.
Very good afternoon to one and all present here. First of all, I would like to thank the organizers for allowing me to speak today. And more importantly, I would like to thank them for allowing us all to speak on such an important issue. I believe this is one of the most important issues of our generation. Because when we speak against fake news, we are speaking for the innocent people who have lost their lives in Jharkhand, Bashirat, Muzaffarnagar, and many more places. When we are speaking for curbing the fake news, we are speaking for curbing the possibilities of turning innocent people into brutal murderers and human bombs, because fake news, ladies and gentlemen, is not merely some misinformation or disinformation. Fake news, most of the time, is a well-intentioned, well-structured, well-designed propaganda to inflict hate and animosity in a society. And in the history of this planet, whenever some people try to create a majoritarian, conclusive, communal, hateful society, they always use this weapon of fake news to accomplish their dreams. And hence I believe we need to think, we need to ponder upon the solutions to fight this rampant increase of fake news. First of all, I believe we all need to run campaigns against Google AdSense and other concerned authorities to ask them to stop providing ads to fake news websites. This happened in the United States. We need to follow the lead, because that will lower down the revenue of the people who are manufacturing the fake news, and this will lower down the possibilities of the spread of fake news, which will create a much peaceful society. Besides this, the newspapers, the news channels, and especially the All India Radio needs to run daily columns, daily shows to debunk the rumors and false information of the previous day. This will also avoid communal clashes in the society. But unfortunately, our newspapers are also not immune to fake news. Let's not even talk about the news channels, and All India Radio is busy doing an entire different thing, and now the private channels are also asked to do the same. So we need to give more and more donations to the websites which are fighting for the fake news, which are on a mission for the fact-checking of websites. And besides this, of course, our government has a great role in curbing the fake news. And our government, to be very honest, bring every few months some order, some law or the other, but their intentions are always under scrutiny. The questions are raised whether the intention is to curb the fake news or to snatch away the accreditation of the journalist and snoop into our mobile phones and laptops. The intentions are questions. The questions are being raised whether they are trying actually to fight fake news or whether they are trying to create a surveillance state, as pointed out by the Supreme Court in June 2017. But I am still hopeful that fake news will come down, because people at some point of time will realize who is spreading this fake news and why it is being spread. And once that happens, I believe it will be fought and we will live in a much peaceful society. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Imad. I now request Dr. Anil Hiware to kindly felicitate and welcome and say thanks for putting very beautifully the views in front of us. A big round of applause, my friends, to Imadul Hassan from Maharashtra. Let's all give a big round of applause to all the 4 student speakers and putting their views in front of us. A big round of applause, my friends. And it's really important that we understand the importance of real news and fake news. The differentiation that we need to understand, and it is need of time that we stop the spread of all such fake news. When we are talking about news, let me share a good news with all of you, because we've been talking about fake news and bad news in this session, but there's a good news that I would like to share with you, that the award that we gave in the morning session today to Shri Biman Banerjee, the Ideal Speaker Award, as a part of that award, we presented rupees 1 lakh to him as a part of award. But the news is, he has returned that entire money to MIT World Peace University as scholarship, which can be given to the student of MIT School of Government. So that, yes, of course, it deserves a big round of applause.
बहुत खूब और बहुत बढ़िया खबर सुनाई है गौतम आपने, और ये उन स्टूडेंट्स के लिए बहुत लाभदायक होगा जो कि आगे की अपनी पढ़ाई करना चाहते हैं। स्कूल ऑफ गवर्नमेंट के हमारे स्टूडेंट्स जिनके लिए इस अवार्ड राशि को उन्होंने समर्पित किया है। एक बार जोरदार तालियां बिमान बनर्जी जी के लिए, जिन्होंने ये फैसला लिया, ये निर्णय लिया। और अब हम कंटिन्यू करते हैं अपने आगे की कार्रवाई को। और मैं आपको चलते चलते ये बता दूं, क्योंकि ये सेशन हमारा फेक न्यूज़ और सोशल मीडिया के लीथल कॉम्बिनेशन पर है, और एक खबर, क्योंकि मैं भी खबरों की दुनिया से आती हूँ, एक खबर जो मेरे पास अभी आई है बिल्कुल ताज़ा मैंने कहा आपको सुना दूँ। वो ये खबर है कि एक फेक न्यूज़ और चल रही है इस समय फेसबुक पर, व्हाट्सएप पर और सोशल मीडिया पर, और वो खबर आगामी जो लोकसभा के इलेक्शंस हैं उनके स्केड्यूल को लेकर, उनके शेड्यूल को लेकर एक खबर जो कि फेक न्यूज़ है, वो चल रही है आपके फेसबुक और तमाम दूसरे सोशल मीडिया पर, और उसका संज्ञान स्वयं जो भारत का चुनाव आयोग है उसने लिया है और उनके खिलाफ पुलिस में रिपोर्ट दर्ज कराई है। तो ये एक खबर थी, एक फेक न्यूज़ की खबर। इन सब खबरों से हमें चौकन्ना रहना चाहिए, हमें जागरूक रहना चाहिए, और जब भी हम इस तरह की कोई खबर आगे फॉरवर्ड करें तो ज़रा ध्यान से 2 बार 4 बार सोचें कि हम जो कर रहे हैं क्या वो सही है कि नहीं है। और हमारा जो ये सेगमेंट है इसका उद्देश्य भी हमारा यही है कि हम सब में ये जागरूकता तो फैले कि हम ये देख सकें, अपना दिमाग लगा सकें, 2 मिनट ज़रा चिंतन कर लें, विचार कर लें कि आखिर किस तरह की खबरों को हम आगे प्रसारित कर रहे हैं इन डिफरेंट सोशल मीडिया के माध्यम से। तो आज का ये विषय, और इस विषय पर एक और प्रखर आवाज़ जिसको हम सुनेंगे, जो कि एक जाने माने पत्रकार रहे हैं, जिन्होंने तमाम विषयों पर अपनी लेखनी को हम सबको दिखाया है, हमने उन्हें पढ़ा है, चाहे पर्यावरण का विषय हो या और दूसरे तमाम विषय हों, न्यूक्लियर एनर्जी का विषय हो या और भी कई राजनीति से जुड़े हुए तमाम विषय जिनकी लेखनी को हमने देखा है, पढ़ा है, समझा है। हमारे बीच अमिताभ सिन्हा जी यहाँ मौजूद हैं, उनको मैं आमंत्रित करूँ। इससे पहले आइए ज़रा उनके जीवन और कार्यों पर हम एक नज़र डाल लें इस छोटी सी फिल्म के माध्यम से।
Shri Amitabh Sinha works with Indian Express as a resident editor, Pune. He has previously worked with PTI, Reuters and BBC. He is known for his thorough research and thought-provoking writing. He has a PG diploma in journalism from IIMC, New Delhi, and a master's in public administration from National University of Singapore. He writes on environment, climate change, water, science and technology, space and nuclear affairs, and related issues. Though these topics are much spoken of, yet his articles expresses both the positive and negative aspects about these issues. His recent series of articles regarding Katowice Climate Meet 2018 efficiently throw light on all the aspects and outcomes of the climate change conference. His articles are usually accompanied by strong and sound reasonings. We are honored to welcome Shri Amitabh Sinha.
तो मंच पर हम सादर आमंत्रित करते हैं हम सबको संबोधित करने के लिए श्री अमिताभ सिन्हा।
Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I think I must admit I was extremely impressed by the 4 youth leaders who spoke just before me, and I must say all of you were bang on. It's heartening to see that people are actually, and especially people of your age, are thinking about fake news, and not just thinking about it, but also thinking about how to deal with fake news and what are the ways out. And I think all 4 speakers were very, very right in what they pointed out, their diagnosis and possible ways out, how to deal with it, right? Because fake news is essentially a crisis, isn't it? It's a global crisis now. People across the world are talking about fake news, and it's a relatively recent phenomenon. It's not very old, the way fake news is propagated these days. But we have already seen how harmful it can be, how it's been playing out, and how it's leading to riots or riot-like situation. It has led to loss of lives. It has, of course, loss of reputation of a lot of people. We have heard about how it has huge potentials to manipulate democratic elections. So we are all aware of it. I'm not going to go into what all fake news can do. I'm sure all of you have come across fake news. You have first-hand experience of what fake news is. And you have received fake news. Probably you have also spread fake news. So all of you probably are aware of what we are dealing with, what we are talking about, isn't it? So I won't go into the the crisis part of it. Rather, I would talk about some of the positive things that come out of this entire phenomena of fake news. And trust me, there are a few positive things. Every crisis actually every crisis brings a few silver linings, isn't it? And this is nothing very unusual about fake news as well. So I'll talk about what can we gain from this entire thing, what are the things that we can learn from the fake news phenomena. But before we go into it, it will be good to just keep in mind a couple of things. One, fake news is a very generic term. It is used to describe a lot of things. If I make a genuine mistake while writing an article, it can be described as fake news. The mistake that I commit can be inadvertent mistake. It can also be a result of, say, laziness. It can be a result of carelessness. It can also be a result of my complete incompetence about the subject that I am writing on. I am mostly, when I'm referring to fake news, I am mostly not dealing with these kind of mistakes. I mean, they can be dealt with separately, but these are not the main concern that I would have. There are other more serious kinds of fake news that are spread. Information that is spread not just on social media, but even while we are talking, we tend to say a lot of things which are not verified. So when I refer to fake news, essentially for this purpose, I'm talking about information that is biased, information that is motivated, information that is manufactured, information that is mischievous, malicious. So I'm essentially referring to those kind of fake news. And most important of all, information, the fake news that is spread intentionally. There's a purpose behind it, right? Most of the originators of fake news, if not the people who are spreading it, the originators at least are aware that what they are spreading is unverified, unchecked, news, that it's probably malicious news, that it's biased news, and still they do it on purpose, and that's why it's quite dangerous. So that's the first thing I would want you to keep a distinction on between when we deal with fake news. The other thing is, as the subject says, social media plus fake news, it's a lethal combination. It's true, it's definitely true. But when we talk about this lethality of the two coming together, it's mostly is coming from fake news. Social media in itself, I don't think is problematic. What is problematic is fake news. Social media is a technology, and like most technology, it can be used in whatever ways a user wants to use it. So social media in itself, I don't think we need to deride it that way. In fact, social media is quite an empowering technology, isn't it? It's given a lot of voice to a lot of people. It's also a very democratic medium in the sense that everyone has the opportunity to get onto it and express their views, and have an audience. They can cultivate an audience. Of course, there's a lot of threat that goes on. There's a lot of abuse. There's a lot of hate campaigns that go on. There's a lot of name calling that happens. Of course, all those things happen. It's a very noisy medium, but that's also the nature of our democracy as well, isn't it? And our democracy itself is also very, very noisy. Social media, at least in India, I think it's more or less a reflection of how we conduct ourselves as a democratic country. So those two things, the fact that fake news has, to distinguish between genuine mistake, inadvertent mistake, and a deliberate fake news, which is a much more serious concern, and the fact that social media can be very, very empowering as well. And I'll return to this social media part sometime later. So what exactly is it when I say there are positives? What are these positives that we can look at? Are there any positives of this fake news narrative? And my argument is that yes, it is. There are quite a few fake news, and we'll just discuss a few of these positives. One, of course, is this entire phenomenon of fake news in social media has exposed a lot of people, so as to say. It has made us aware of the real caliber of a lot of people who we used to earlier respect, or people who had a lot of reputation for whatever, as were known for their expertise. A lot of these people, and these were all sorts of people. They were like, we are talking about journalists, politicians, academicians, scholars, intellectual, artists, activists, all sort of people. A lot of these people have actually, for whatever reasons, they have decided to become partisan in the last three. They have started taking positions which are not entirely consistent with their reputation. And what this has done is, in doing so, they have revealed themselves, right? And because at one point of the time or the other, what happens is, because a lot of people have decided to take very partisan stands, in the process what they have done is, either willingly, very wittingly, or sometimes inadvertently, they have succumbed to this temptation to spread news or spread information which might suit their views but is not entirely accurate. So, and in doing so, they have sort of lessened their own reputation. While they have been doing so, there is a learning for all of us. And the learning is, no matter how bright you are, no matter how intelligent you are, if you are not ready to acknowledge and engage with a contrarian viewpoint, a contrarian but legitimate viewpoint, a counter argument, then people like you and me should lose trust in people like these for any other thing that they say, right? So a lot of times what happens is, what is worse is when such people have been challenged on social media, when they have been asked, when they have been questioned, in most of the cases, the ideal response is either to keep quiet or move on to the next topic, or engage in some sort of theatrics, which again is unbecoming to the kind of reputation that they enjoy. You would expect them to have a very different sort of a response. You would expect people who were supposed to have a lot of wisdom, a lot of intelligence, to be able to engage with arguments. A lot of time that is not happening. So that is one positive thing that has come out, is that people have been revealing themselves. And for us, the learning is we should be able to identify people who are spreading misinformation, who are deliberately spreading misinformation, and we should refuse to trust anything coming out of them in future. We can still, the thing is we can still follow them, we can know what they are doing, we can still listen to what they are saying, but the trust, the belief that we had that what they are saying is correct, that belief, I think, we'll slowly lose, and if we lose, it's actually a good thing that is happening. The second thing, a positive thing which is already happening, and I hope it happens a bit more, is that this entire phenomena, this fake news thing, is making us more and more skeptical. We are losing trust in the information that is coming to us on our phones, on our websites. And, trust me, it's not a bad thing. Being, skeptical is a bad word only in terms of, only in the context of climate change these days. You would not want to be called a climate change skeptic. Otherwise, being skeptical of information that is thrown at you, having cultivated trying to cultivate the culture of doubt in you, it's a very good thing. What it makes us do is, look at the origin of the information coming to me. Look at the sources. Journalists and academics, for example, they are trained to look at sources, where the information is coming from. The quality of my information, the quality of information that we have is directly proportional to the quality of source it's originating from. For common people, we were not really concerned about where it is coming from, how it is coming to me. But if this fake news culture is forcing us to look at the sources, is forcing us to cross-check, is forcing us to verify all the information that is coming to us, I think it's a good thing that is happening. It's training us to to differentiate between authentic and inaccurate information, right? So, if you still haven't been, if you're still not very skeptical enough, I would encourage you to be much more doubtful about information that is thrown at you. Don't swallow whatever comes to you at their face value. Everyone will learn from their own experiences, and I'm sure all of you have experienced fake news. You have first-hand experience of it. So please start cultivating this culture of doubt in you. The third thing, and this is what I had mentioned earlier, and this is the role of social media. Yes, social media has actually helped spread fake news. In the absence of social media, fake news wouldn't have been such a big problem. But social media also offers itself as probably the most effective check on fake news. Social media, as I said, it's because it's a technology and it's available to all. It solves a lot of problems that existed earlier. Say, in times when social media wasn't there, and if a newspaper or a television channel made an error, reported inaccurately, or made a flawed argument, there was very little scope for common people to actually get back to the newspaper, get back to the channel, and try to engage with it or try to give a counter view. newspapers would, occasionally, they would make corrections, they would print clarifications whenever they came to know of an inaccuracy in their reports. Sometimes very important people would also get space on the newspaper to write a counter argument. But for common people like us, if you found an argument to be flawed, if you found an inaccuracy in the newspaper, I mean, the best thing that you could have probably done is write a 2,000-word piece to the as letter to editor to the editor, and most likely it would find its way to the dustbin. If you are very, very lucky, then probably 50 words or 100 words of your letter would be published in one corner. Some of the magazines would do much better. They would print, say, 10, 20, sometimes on special occasions, even 50 reactions from their public. But that was about it. There was a problem of access. For common people, there was a problem of access. How to get a platform, and how to let your voice be heard. Social media clearly solves that problem of access. It makes everything, it makes a platform readily available to us. So today, if something happens, you go to the social media, you don't just reach out to the newspaper or the television, you also reach out to a much wider audience. And you also can cross-verify. There are others who would probably chip in with the information you have. So social media, while being a purveyor of fake news, it's also probably what we have today is as also the most effective check on fake news, because thankfully wisdom is spread out amongst common people. It's not concentrated only in a few people who are writing articles or who are in important positions. Thankfully, wisdom is quite spread out amongst the masses, and social media gives them the space, everyone, to just join in and counter if there is some inaccuracy in the report. So that's again, I would say that's a positive, the use of social media, in the role of social media in checking. There's a lot of talk of how social media spreads fake news. Little is talked about how social media actually also acts as a check against the spread of fake news. So that's again a positive that we can look at. Then there are other positives. If this fake news phenomena, if it is forcing people like me, or journalists like me, or even others, to have a relook at the kind of things that we are putting out in public domain, if it's forcing us to go back and double check the information that we have, if it's forcing us to take extra care, while writing down and sharing. Yes. Yeah. So that again, if it is forcing us to have a relook at these things, then of course it's again a positive. The last thing, because there's a shortage of time, I would say, and it's a related thing. It's a very good, the fake news problem is a good opportunity for traditional media houses, the media organizations that have been there for a long time, to actually step in and bring sanity into the entire debate. The thing is, right now, there is the trust with media is going down, but the thing is, media houses still have certain amount of checks and balances. If I write a news something, it doesn't appear in the newspaper just like that. There are 3 or 4 pair of eyes that go through it. Sometimes even more questions are asked. It just doesn't go like that, and still mistakes creep in. I'm not saying mistakes don't appear. They still appear despite the checks and balances that we have. Now imagine the risk of getting it wrong on social media when there are no such checks and balances, right? So it's a good opportunity for traditional media houses, for media organizations to step into this, bring a sanity into this entire thing, and it's already happening. That's why you see lots of media organizations getting into fact-checking exercises, and some of them have columns, some of them are running entire campaigns on fact checks. Right, I'll leave it at that. I'll just leave you with a thought. There is one community of people who are probably, with the least possibility of spreading fake news, and that is our scientists. A lot of scientists are on social media, and sometimes it's sad to look at the number of people who are following them. There's our principal scientific advisor, Mr. K. Vijay Raghavan. He's a very distinguished biologist himself. He's government's topmost scientific officer. And the following he has on Twitter is barely about 10,000 people or so, somewhere around that. Some very other distinguished, very eminent scientists have followings in a few hundreds or a lower thousands. Yes, they would not say very interesting things. They would not put out jokes on Narendra Modi and Rahul Gandhi, but they have some very useful information to share. Information that is authentic and not fake. I'll leave you with that. This is not, the scientist part is not entirely related to the rest of the things, but it's a thought worth pondering on. I'll be happy to take some questions later. Thank you for hearing me out.
Thank you very much. Let's give a big round of applause for Shri Amitabh Sinha ji. Thank you very much for your views, and now, of course, it's time for taking some questions. I request you if you could please join us here. It's a sincere request to students, those who are going to ask questions, and a request to the speakers also, those who are going to give the answers. Let's keep our question and answer both small, okay? Because I have to take a couple of questions. Time is short. So it's a request to the students to take chota sawal and chota jawab. Thank you. The first question is coming to us from stage, from podium number 2. Mr. Chandan Kumar Singh is asking question. Yes, Mr. Chandan Kumar, please go ahead, ask your question. Yes, go ahead quickly.
Yeah, hello, good afternoon to everyone. And sir, my question is, are we Indians moving towards an era of digital colonization? Because we claim to be the superpower in the next 10 years. But the main problem is, today we don't have any multinational companies.
Thank you, we got your question. Your question is precise. Are we moving towards digital colonization? Mr. Amitabh, sir.
Can you hear me? Am I audible? Yeah. So I find myself slightly incapable to answer this question, mainly because I do not fully understand what do we mean by digital colonization. I'm really sorry, but in the absence of trying to, yeah.
Yes, please, sir.
Digital colonization is a phenomena when we do not have values. India has perfect and strong moral values. So India will not fall a prey to digital colonization. Today, we are design capital in softwares in the world. Into the Digital Age is a book written by Eric Schmidt, chairman of Google. He has pointed that we are all passing through the age of transition. We must be very careful and we must evaluate and discriminate the messages right or wrong. That's the answer.
Thank you. Let's have last and quick question from podium number 1. Tharamai Yazini from Tamil Nadu. Please ask your question from podium number 1. Yes, a chota sawal, chota jawab, please.
Vanakkam. My question is, will government take immediate or effective actions at once to curb fake news, as like demonetization of 500,000 rupees notes? Or will they curb doing so as to grab votes from the youth?
No, everyone wants to this fake news business to stop, no doubt. But it's a little more complicated than that. Government stepping in and curbing fake news. We can have a longer discussion. It's not that simple. Seriously, it's not that simple. Otherwise, governments across the world would have already stepped in by now. We can have separate discussion on that, right?
Okay. Well, there is one last question that has come to me for Mr. Haji Anayat Ali, sir. It's coming from podium number 1. Mr. Ashok Mane would like to ask the question. Mr. Ashok, please go ahead. आपके लिए सवाल आया है. Podium number 1 से Mr. Ashok Mane, please go ahead.
My question is, because of fake news, there is increasing trend of mob
एक मिनट
violence,
रुकिए, एक मिनट रुकिए।
in which particular person is targeted and killed. So it is right. It is against the right to life, which is in under 21 in Indian Constitution.
Okay.
To curb this problem, what will be the role of the government and social media?
ओके ओके सर, सवाल ऐसा है कि किसी एक फेक न्यूज के पोस्ट की वजह से किसी की जान चली जाती है, तो उसको खुद को, जिसकी जान गई उसको जीने का अधिकार था, लेकिन इस फेक न्यूज की वजह से उसकी जान चली गई। तो ऐसे मौकों पे सरकार क्या कर सकती है?
देखिए, हर चीज के लिए सरकार को दोष मत दीजिए। सरकार जो है, हम खुद सरकार बनाते हैं। ये आपका भी फर्ज है, हम सबका फर्ज है। सोशल मीडिया जो है हम खुद चलाते हैं। मैं पहले भी आप लोगों को कह चुका हूं कि ये सोशल मीडिया में जो लिखते हैं वो पढ़े लिखे लोग लिखते हैं, अनपढ़ लोग नहीं लिखते हैं, कोई जाहिल लोग नहीं लिखते हैं। आप खुद उसका सोच देख लीजिए कि भाई इसके क्या कर सकते हैं। अगर किसी की वजह से किसी का जान जाएगा तो वो खुद सोच लीजिए उसको क्या करना चाहिए। मेरे ख्याल से हमने इसके लिए कोई कानून नहीं बनाया है, तो अभी तो फ्री है। तो इस वक्त जो है सबको सोचना चाहिए कि ऐसे न्यूज़ के से गुरेज रखें, ऐसे न्यूज़ से आप एहतियात करें, ताकि इस पर कोई कार्रवाई नहीं हो सकता। तो हम कर क्या सकते हैं? या तो कोई कंप्लेंट करना चाहिए, तभी तो कुछ कार्रवाई हो सकता है।
जी, thank you dignitaries, thank you very much for your answers. Thank you very much students for your questions. It is important. It is really important for youth to understand the importance of this fact which we are discussing. Of course, as Sir rightly said just now, don't blame it on government every time. Don't put it on government. It is our responsibility to understand what is real and what is fake. My friends, for which the same thought came many, many years ago, that can there be training for everything? Of course, for becoming an engineer, there is training. For becoming good doctor, there is training, there is school. But for becoming a good politician, there was no any school. Even today, if you go to any part of the globe and say that there is a school that actually makes politicians or helps you to understand and learn how to become a good political leader, people might be surprised and people might not be able to really understand that what are we talking about. But here, we have MIT School of Government, which is the first of its kind of institute, not in India, but in entire Asia, to initiate 2 years postgraduate degree program in political leadership and government for a career in politics. It is 1 year on-campus learning and 1 year off-campus training program. The institute is a brainchild of Sri Rahul Karad, which came into existence in the year 2005. With the able academic mentorship of Sri T.N. Sheshanji, who is the former Chief Election Commissioner. This 2 years postgraduate degree program in political leadership and government is an experiential learning program, and which is a combination of 50% theory and 50% on-field activities. Interactive sessions of eminent national level leaders from politics, social sector, bureaucracy, judiciary, media and corporate, internship with political leaders in the offices of the political parties of own choice are some of the highlights of this program. National study tour to Delhi and studying election management system and constituency development are the unique features of this particular program. Apart from the electoral politics, student can look forward to be successfully working and functioning in politics as political analyst, election consultant, media analyst, constituency manager, or policy associates. We all have been discussing and talking about becoming a good engineer, good doctor, good lawyer, but of course it is time that we all should start thinking from bottom of our hearts that are we really thinking of becoming a good political leader, and if yes, what all avenues I have. Thank you very much for all the dignitaries and all the students for those important questions and your participation in this particular session. My friends, there are many, many important things that are left, but before I move forward, I would like to request Professor Dr. V.L. Dharurkar to kindly give a concluding remark to this particular session.
Honorable Karatji, Speaker of J&K, Editor of Indian Express, dignitaries on the dais, and my young students. I congratulate you all for sharing your novel thoughts on social media. Frederick William, a professor of Annenberg School of California University, has written a beautiful book, Technologies of Freedom. In this book, he has written WhatsApp, Instagram, all these are the technologies of freedom. Social media includes, they are the technologies of freedom. They are means to serve the people, they are not the end. ये नए सूचना प्रौद्योगिकी और सामाजिक माध्यम सर्वस्व नहीं है, जनता के सेवा का एक माध्यम है। इनका दुरुपयोग हमारे दुनिया के सबसे गरीब नहीं, सबसे गरीब आदमी को मुश्किल में डालने वाला होता है, तो उसके ऊपर नैतिक रोक लगाना हमारे हर युवक का काम है। Three things are very important. One, prepare a code of ethics for the use of social media. Second, restrain yourself from spreading rumors and wrong information. Third thing is very important. Follow the principle of fair play and fair justice. If you are wrong, withdraw your post. And like a lion, explain that you are faithful to democracy. Chairman of Google, Eric Schmidt, in his book, Into the Digital Age, writes, nations are changing. People are changing. Businesses are changing. A new culture is coming up. If world will become a global village, as McLuhan predicted, if the world has become the global village due to communication revolution, in this global village, friends, let us not forget the Indian value, dharana tadharayate dharmaha, which constitutes society, that is religion, which constitutes society, that is media. वर्तमान जमाने में धर्म नहीं है, लेकिन संचार के माध्यम समाज के और दुनिया के निर्माण के लिए एक नई ताकत बन गए हैं। इनको नीति से जोड़े, सूत्रों से जोड़े, तत्वों से जोड़े, मूल्यों से जोड़े, ताकि हम दुनिया को बदल सके, ताकि हम दुनिया को सच्चाई के ऊपर ले जा सके। 1,80,000 श्लोक लिखने वाले महर्षि व्यास, जो दुनिया के भारत के सबसे बड़े विद्वान थे, जिन्होंने महाभारत लिखा, उनको एक बार पूछा गया था, व्यास जी, what is the message of Mahabharata in only one line? Maharshi Vyas said, na manusyam kimapi nasati yadyapi, nothing is so great in this earth than that of human being. So, who is supreme? Man is supreme. So, protecting humanity, that is the challenge of fake news and challenge of paid news. So, friends, protect humanity, nurture human values, and emancipate democracy from the shadow of fake news. That is the message of today's discussion. With these words, I will say, उगा सूर्य कैसा कहो मुक्ति काय उजाला करोड़ों घरों में न पहुंचा. We have to take the light of freedom to the millions of poor houses. Jai Hind.
Thank you very much, sir. Very, very important message that this entire session gave us. Before I go any further, it is my indeed pleasure to invite on stage Dr. Ramachandra Pujari, who would actually give you a quick insight for the very, very important activity of Bharatiya Chhatra Sansad platform, which is Youth to Youth Connect, and which we all are going to experience in few minutes from now. So I request him to kindly come up stage and share that important piece of information with all of us.
Happy evening to everybody. What a wonderful day today. We had a great speakers for this particular Bharatiya Chhatra Sansad. Inaugural was the wonderful program, and now we had the wonderful session. Now the most important session is awaiting for you. I understood that you had maximum registration for this particular awaiting program, that is Youth to Youth Connect. The brainchild of great program, that is Bharatiya Chhatra Sansad, our Honorable Executive President, Professor Rahul Karad sir, has made this another interesting and important session which is supposed to be there. After this, every session, after 2 days, we have that. Every first day and second day, we have this Youth to Youth Connect. Youth to Youth Connect to ensure we have here various delegates, youths from all over the country. We want to have a connectivity among everybody. And to ensure those, we have here 10 different topics which are more important and day-to-day activity. They are the measurable activities we have here. And they are, So I request you, already you know about the various flex and various registration kit. You had already all the topics with you people. I request you people, just go through the kit which is available with you people. There already the details of that particular Youth to Youth Connect is given. Also you know about, because we have given you the concept note about that Youth to Youth Connect as well. This program, the Youth to Youth Connect session is going to held now. Immediate after this, we have here MIT as well as MIT COE building, that is D building. We have the flex also, the announcement, whatever the Youth to Youth Connect registration, they have made it. Same thing will happen here. All the rooms are available. The classrooms have been allocated according to the topics. I request all of you, just look into your registration kit. What is the topic which you have chosen now? Kindly move forward. From here, it is left side to your side. You just go through the MIT COE as well as MIT building. There the flex is available and showing you all the details about all the 10 topics. And I request you to go to the registered your topic and be in there and have a discussion among that. Today you decide what you're supposed to do about the particular topic. Finally, tomorrow we'll conclude tomorrow's session, which start by exactly 4:30 p.m. And we'll be available, my colleagues will be available, volunteers will be available, we'll be waiting for you. Kindly join for the Youth to Youth Connect. Thank you so much.
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया। तो यूथ टू यूथ कनेक्ट के लिए आप तैयार हो जाइए, और कल जो हमारे बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट और बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग सेशंस होने, उसके लिए भी आप लोग ज़रूर तैयार हो जाइए। मैं आपको बता दूं कि कल हमारे साथ बहुत ही ख़ास मेहमान यहाँ आने वाले हैं। देवेंद्र शर्मा, जो कि कृषि योद्धा कहे जाते हैं, कृषि के तमाम तरह के जानकार माने जाते हैं, बहुत बड़े, वो हमारे बीच होंगे। हमारे साथ अरुंधति भट्टाचार्य होंगी, जो कि SBI की चेयरमैन रह चुकी हैं। हमारे साथ भावना सोमैया होंगी, आप सब जानते हैं भावना सोमैया, फिल्म क्रिटिक हैं जानी मानी। हमारे साथ एक्टिविस्ट तृप्ति देसाई होंगी, जिनको आप सुन पाएंगे। हमारे साथ नगमा होंगी, जानी मानी अभिनेत्री। हमारे साथ CPM नेता बृंदा करात यहाँ पर आएंगी, आपके बीच अपने अनुभव साझा करेंगी। और शंकर सिंह वाघेला जी भी हमारे साथ यहाँ इस भारतीय छात्र संसद के 9वें अधिवेशन के दूसरे सेशन के लिए कल दूसरे दिन यहाँ पर मौजूद होंगे। अलग अलग हमारे सेशंस होंगे, जिसमें इंडियन इकोनॉमी की हम बात करेंगे, खास तौर से विमुद्रीकरण के बाद और GST के लागू होने के बाद भारतीय अर्थव्यवस्था के बारे में हम बात करेंगे। इसके अलावा महिलाओं के खिलाफ जो अपराध होते हैं, उन अपराधों को किस प्रकार से रोका जा सकता है, और ख़ास तौर से जो सेलिब्रिटीज़ हैं या जो सोशल आइकन्स हैं, वो क्या कुछ अपनी भूमिका निभा सकते हैं, इस पर भी हम बात करेंगे एक सेशन में। इसके अलावा एक राष्ट्र एक चुनाव, ये एक ऐसा आइडिया है जिसे लगातार प्रचारित और प्रसारित किया जा रहा है, ख़ास तौर से गुड गवर्नेंस की दिशा में इसे कदम माना जाता है। इस पर भी यहाँ विचार विमर्श होगा, और इस सब विचार विमर्श को जानने और इन विचारों में गोते लगाने के लिए आपका यहाँ होना ज़रूर है। और अभी फ़िलहाल मैं माइक देती हूँ गौतम को, क्योंकि अभी एक और बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट जो हमारा सेगमेंट होता है, उसकी बारी है।
Thank you very much, Neelam ji. And it's now time that for all of us to take out our mobile phones and vote for a very, very important resolution for this particular session. I request all the dignitaries on stage also to take out their mobile phones and participate in this particular resolution. The resolution is in front of you. Fake news and social media, a lethal combination. we, the participants of 9th Bharatiya Chhatra Sansad, demand that education departments of all the state governments should develop a curriculum in higher secondary education to empower teenagers to identify fake news and take up the remedial action against the fake news on social media.
हम 9वीं भारतीय छात्र संसद के प्रतिभागी केंद्र सरकार से ये मांग करते हैं कि हर राज्य के शिक्षा विभाग को उच्च माध्यमिक शिक्षा प्रणाली में एक ऐसा पाठ्यक्रम लाना चाहिए जिससे युवाओं को सच्ची और झूठी खबरों के बीच का फर्क समझ में आए और सोशल मीडिया पर व्याप्त झूठी खबरों के खिलाफ वो सुधारात्मक कदम उठाएं।
And your time starts now. 2 minutes time we all have. I request everyone to go to your SMS window and type BCS1 space Y if you support this resolution and send it to 901-342-2222. And if you don't want to support this resolution, please type in your SMS window BCS1 space N and send it to 901-342-2222. Last few seconds, my friends. I request everyone complete the voting process as soon as possible. We really need to understand what exactly is your opinion in this very, very important resolution.
और ये रेजोल्यूशन यहाँ से जाता है विधानसभाओं को, राज्य सरकारों को, केंद्र सरकार को, और इन प्रस्तावों पर गौर किया जाता है। तो इसलिए आप अपना जो भी आपका ओपिनियन है इस बारे में हमें जरूर बताइए। मात्र 21 सेकंड आपके पास बचे।
Right, there are last few seconds, my friends.
कुछ बात करेंगे, मिलजुल कर अब काम करेंगे, तब जाकर कुछ बात बनेगी।
My friends, finish the process, please. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and your time is over. And this resolution passes with 92.68%. A big round of applause, my friends. Very nice. Thank you very much for your participation. And this kind of participation, this kind of enthusiasm is required. And of course, it is the sign and signature, I would say, of Bharatiya Chhatra Sansad. My friends, in order that you understand each other very, very well, there is a networking dinner which is organized today after the Youth to Youth Connect activity on MIT lawns, which you must have seen when you entered this particular venue. I request each one of you to participate in the dinner in the evening after your Youth to Youth Connect activity so that you all would get to understand each other and do some positive and constructive work.
तो इसी के साथ हमारा ये सेशन हम खत्म करेंगे। कल सुबह 9 बजे आपसे मुलाकात करनी है, लेकिन इससे पहले आप सभी से निवेदन करेंगे अपने अपने स्थानों पर खड़े हो जाएं राष्ट्रगान के लिए।
Thank you very much. I request dignitaries to kindly be on stage. I request them to show the participate in the support with the small emblem that you have in front of you of Bharatiya Chhatra Sansad. Please hold it in your hand so that we can have